Hi everyone, just thought I'd come back and make a little video again for you, which is going to be of one of the snowmans I did when I was a beginner. Really easy ones to do. Great, as I said, for the beginner, sort of novice sort of area of your carving. Just rounding off a stick of wood, creating a scarf, smile, nose and some eyes. And then you can take it up from a bit further from there by adding different shapes of noses, different scarves, jackets, hats and things. So let's just get going with a very simple one for today. And gosh, these really fetch back some great memories as well of me starting out to this. So I'm going to draw lines down the centre of a block of wood. It's a usual block of wood that is the 10 centimetre long by 2.5 wide, 10 centimetres long as I said, an inch by 4 inches. Okay, we're going to come down at this point here and draw a little line across there. That's 7/8, 22 millimeters down from the top. Okay, so not just am I going to do the line down the center, I'm going to split those lines again just to help out a little bit when we're going to round off what is the square block. Gives us an easier chance of making sure, it's a bit more even all the way around. Okay, and at the same time, that quarter I did there, I'm going to do that all the way around the top. Just like so. So I know when I round it off a little bit, I'm getting there somewhere. I'm not going to try and create a perfectly round head or anything like that today. I'm just going to get some basic things in. That's the structure of where everything is. So I'm going to start off by rounding the sides off. Today I'm using a flex cut knife. Again, available everywhere on Amazon or your local shops, certainly in the UK at least. It's a very popular knife when I started off. Still nothing wrong with it now. I'm using it again today, several years later. So, go round the block, taking off all the edges. Maybe I didn't mention, but I've come down 5 centimeters at this line here, which is half of the block. Okay. The reason why I've got the larger block rather than the small piece of wood is it's a lot safer for you to do, especially as a beginner. You don't want anything that's going to be too hard to hold. I can use the bottom bit firmly in my hand, wearing a glove obviously for the safety reasons as usual. Nobody wants to take nicks out of your finger. It's very uncomfortable. At the worst case, you'll have little bits of blood all over it and everything as well. Okay, so wear the glove if you can. Round off these edges. Okay, so again, I know this mark is going to be, that's 7/8 down. So I'll get the ruler so you can see me marking that back in. The top, down 7/8. Side for the 7/8. That's roughly where the nose is going to be. It doesn't have to be exactly, not the nose, the scarf. That 7/8 is where the scarf is going to end up being on the neck. Okay, so we're looking down from the top down to the neck there. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little mark all of the way around, only roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Say that's where my line it's more or less going to be. Now I'm going to go in at that mark, and I'm just going to take like a V cut out each side of that on that line, and I'm purposely choosing the edges to start off with. Go all the way around, put that knife in like straight in on that line, then just come underneath the line, and if you sort of, as if you were sawing the knife, come through each side and it'll slip out quite nicely. Then just join these lines together like so. In the center, rock it back and forth, take that slip out. In that center, rock it back and forth, and give a little slide across there like that. Get that out. Do that on all four sides. And there you've got the basic shape of where the head would be. Okay. So this point here is where 5 centimeters comes down the block. And I've chosen that because once you're finished, if you want to do a few of them, you can start doing it on the other side as well before you use like either a normal wooden saw to go through there, or if you're lucky enough to have a bandsaw, then you can just cut it through with a bandsaw, and then basically what you end up with is that. Okay. So there's your head there. Just going to round off these corners, so every one of these corners that's got that point on it, I'm just going to take the point out again. Any little points you've got now, just keep taking them out. All the way around the head, just to get a rough round shape. As I said earlier on, I'm not going to be making this perfectly round shape, just going to keep it really simple, like so. And then the same for the underneath side of it. Take out all those corners that you still got on there. So all of these little corners here, where you've gone the flat there and the flat there, go in between them. And just take a little nick out like that all the way around. You've created a bit of a round circle of the head there. The more you do that, the rounder it will become. If you want to continue, by all means you can continue doing that. I'm not going to do that in this video, just because I'm going to keep this quite a short video for you, just to show how simple it is to get that done, and to be something for the kids to have a bit of a play with, maybe, or if you would just make something quickly just for a bit of fun, make a keyring holder out of it or something like that. Once you've done that, you can now do that and the same on these lines here all the way around, making that a little rounder, just like we did in the bottoms. Just taking a little bit of that line out each time. Literally just taking a very thin slither. And I've removed any of those pencil lines we've still got in there. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to try and get it any better than that. You could do a little bit more on the head maybe. And as you can see, I've just literally gone around there just the once, just to get that line in. One thing I would recommend though is this top bit here, the end grain, just take a shaving off there to expose that wood, because when you paint it, if you're going to end up painting them, that will change the way the paint will absorb into the wood. Okay, so now we can do the same now on the body. Take that off as well, all of the way around, just a thin slither, as we did with the other sections. Just like that. And that's that done. So as you can see, it's taken shape already. Nothing at all wrong with that. Use them for decorations on a Christmas tree or maybe by the table setting. I'm going to take off any other pencil lines now that I can see. And any of that wood that's not fit, sort of it's nice and smooth where you've carved off, you can take that off as well at this point, because the same reasons for, as I mentioned earlier on, for painting, it will absorb in differently if you haven't cleaned off the wood. Yeah. So choose one of the corners you like the best, the roundest, or whichever you think is the most evenly shaped. Give yourself a centre line between the top and the bottom, by there. And then you're going to have the mouth pencil line in between the bottom and there. Just come up a little bit, around there like that. Put a little line in each side, like so. And you can imagine the eyes then are going to line up with this mouth. Something like that. Okay. Now, a few things you can do here. The easy one would be to go in with a knife and create this mouth line. So being careful that you don't slip and catch your thumb. Just go in on that line all of the way around, giving it a bit of a curl. If you go slightly above it and take the very thinnest of slithers out, you can see there. You can leave it at that point if you want, or you can go underneath. Do the same thing again, take that thin slither out. Okay. That will give you the mouth itself. Then if you go in straight in, then take the tiny corners out to the side there. from where you went in. I'll give you a close-up now in a second. Okay. Now for the eyes, as a beginner, it's entirely up to you again. You can either just paint them on when you're all done later on, or if you want to just make a little bit of a mark with the tip of your knife, so you know where it's going to be later on. You can do the same with the nose. Okay. For the scarf, you can have it folding over. So for that, we're just going to create a line that comes over to this side of the scarf. Just going to come up like that. And again up like that. I'll give you a bit of a measurement for how wide I've done that. That's 1 centimetre wide, so it's about just over 1/4 of an inch. No, half an inch, nearly half an inch. You can make it half an inch if you want, it doesn't matter. And again, you come down about that half an inch mark as well, to where I've got that line, then that line coming up now. And just draw a line. Freehand is fine, guys. All the way around. A bit of wood off there. And you're also going to have the scarf coming down on this side as well. Okay. I think you get the idea from that. You can make the scarves longer if you want to, etc. It hasn't got to be exactly the same shape as mine. It can be folded the other way. It's entirely up to you. Just make it the way you want it to be. I would just make one to start off with and then just play around with them from there. This one has got a thinner one, part of the scarf there, comes out wider here. I've done a pink colour and they've given us some eyelashes. All a bit of fun when you're a beginner. Just do whatever you feel like doing, doesn't matter. There's no rules, no regulations. Then where the scarf comes around, again, if you just go in with the knife, just follow your knife mark all the way around, your pencil mark, to that scarf line you had. Okay, and then go up in a slicing motion underneath it, only by a few millimeters. Can you see that? Yeah. Any pieces that stick, just go back over it. And the same again on the outline of this side. And up there. Like that. Just a few little cuts. Little straight cut on the pencil line again there. Take that out. All the way around till we're done. You can take a very small slither off again, just like you were doing at the top, just to sort of take that level of wood down a fraction to make the scarf pop out a little bit more. So maybe to come down 1/4 of an inch from the wood underneath the scarf, but only take a little bit out. I'll show you the final result now in a second, so you get a better idea on the camera. There we go. Some real close up there now for you. Is that focused in or not? I believe so. Touch the screen just to be sure for you. Okay. Any little pieces that are catching, just go back in and take it out just slightly with the cut of the knife. The scarf at the bottom here, draw the line from the top piece of the scarf, come around and just go underneath it slightly like so. Creating that depth illusion again you've got of the scarf being underneath the other side. Just take out any pencil lines you still got left. Same this side now, the scarf is going to be on top, so you go in on that pencil line and then round and underneath that side of the scarf. Taking off again any pencil lines are still left anyway. I'll tidy that line up just for the sake of the camera. And there you have a little snowman. At that point you can just leave it there and just either wood stain him, or if you wanted to paint him then you can paint him. You can get a little bit fussy if you want, and where this line of the scarf is, put a slight angle of it on the cut there just to make it a bit neater. Again, if you're making it just for a bit of fun and you just want something quick to do while you're waiting for somebody to come home or whatever, it doesn't have to be done. Depends what detail you want to go on. You can go all the way around, do the same thing, like so. Tidying up any little pieces you can see that catch your eye. But guys, that's done. So there we are, guys. I've just gone and put a bit of water on it to make it stick out a little bit more, to make it easier for you guys to see. And I put a bit of a pen through the eyeballs and where the nose is and the mouth. And you can see the little corners now of the mouth a little bit better from there as well. Okay. What you could do is what I did here, and then just get a little cocktail stick. Either push it in and then snap it off and shape the tip itself, or alternatively you get a little drill bit, maybe a 3mm drill bit, push it through quite deep and then carve the nose off from the top end of that. I haven't got it cut out here, but that'll give you an idea what I'm talking about. From the side view, you have something like that coming out. It's just a little end of the cocktail stick. You can just push it through into the nose and then carve it off at whatever distance you want. And that way then you'll have the nose sticking out like that as well. Really quick and simple, guys. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.